Listen to me. This is your year. 2025 ain't gonna wait for you. Time ain't waiting. The question is, are you ready to stop making excuses and start making moves? You owe it to you, not your mama, not your coach, not your friends. You owe it to yourself to become everything you said you'd be. You said you were gonna get in shape. You said you were gonna start the business. You said you were gonna graduate. But here's the truth, talk is cheap, execution is everything. You keep looking for motivation outside, a video, a quote, a person. Nah, look in the mirror. That person owes you more. Why? Because you were born with greatness inside you. Because you've survived things others didn't. Because your pain was meant to push you, not paralyze you. You know, you owe it to you to stop quitting when it gets hard. You owe it to you to stop blaming your past. You can't rewrite history, but you can write the next chapter. You can rise. In 2025, make a decision, no more half effort, no more excuses, no more hiding. Own your vision, own your story, own your life. Because nobody's coming to save you and the world doesn't reward. You keep waiting on a breakthrough, waiting on somebody to notice you, waiting on somebody to validate your talent, your hard work, your dreams. But let me tell you something, and I need you to hear this with your heart. Nobody owes you anything. Not your parents, not your teachers, not your boss, not your friends, and definitely not the world. Nobody's coming to rescue you. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible for your success. You are responsible for your growth, your grind, your breakthrough. And until you take full ownership of that, until you stop pointing fingers and start taking full accountability, nothing changes, nothing shifts. You can read all the self-help books in the world. You can listen to every motivational video on YouTube. But if you don't take control, if you don't accept that it's on you, then nothing will stick. Too many people are playing the blame game. If my parents supported me more, if I had more money, if I had more time, stop it. You think success is some magical gift that just lands in people's laps? You think people out here getting it easy? No. They had to take responsibility for their actions, their effort, their consistency. They had to get up every single day and show up whether they felt like it or not. The day you decide that you are fully responsible for your life is the day you stop giving your power away. Because every time you blame someone else, every time you point outside yourself, you are giving them control over your future. You are saying, I can't because they didn't. You are saying my destiny depends on their decisions. Nah, not in 2025. Not this year. Not this time. You have to stop thinking life is supposed to be fair. It's not. It never was. And it never will be. You're not owed an easy life. You're not entitled to success just because you want it. The truth is, you have to fight for it. You have to work for it. You have to decide that whatever happened to you, whatever is happening right now, does not control what happens next. You do. I know some of you were handed pain. Some of you were handed broken homes. Some of you were handed nothing. No money, no support, no encouragement. I get it. But what you were handed is not your fault. What you do with it is your responsibility. So what are you going to do? Keep repeating the cycle? Keep living in regret? Keep waiting for someone to feel sorry for you? Or are you going to rise? Let me say it again. You owe it to you not to be perfect, not to have all the answers, but to show up every day, even when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, because you're the one who has to look in the mirror. You're the one who has to answer to that voice in your head, that voice that knows whether you gave your all or made another excuse. When I was homeless, when I was a high school dropout, when I had nothing, nobody came to save me. I had to look in the mirror and make a decision. I had to stop blaming everybody else for where I was in life. And the moment I said, this is my life and I'm taking it back, that was the moment everything changed. You have that same power. You have that same ability, but it won't activate until you take full responsibility. No more blaming your job. No more blaming your past. No more blaming your environment. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your life. And guess what? You're capable. You built for it. You got everything you need. Not outside you, but inside. It's not about what you have. It's about what you do with it. Stop asking for a lighter load and start building a stronger back. Stop hoping things get easier and start praying you get better. Because the moment you step into ownership, the moment you accept full control, the moment you say, if it's to be, it's up to me, then you become unstoppable. You want 2025 to be different, then you have to be different. Not your circumstances, not your relationships, you. Because once you understand that you are the author of your story, not the reader, not the spectator, not the victim, then you start writing chapters of strength, of victory, of purpose, because you owe it to you. You keep telling yourself, I'll do it when I feel like it. You keep waiting for motivation to knock on your door, shake your hand, and give you a 5-star plan to success. But let me tell you something real. Motivation is a myth if you treat it like a fuel source. It doesn't last. It comes and goes like the wind. You can't build a legacy on feeling. You know what lasts? Discipline. You know what builds champions, builds businesses, builds greatness? Discipline. It's not about waking up inspired. It's about waking up and showing up every single day. Whether it's raining, whether you're tired, whether you're doubting yourself, you still show up because discipline is stronger than emotion. You think the greats in this world waited until they were in a mood? You think successful people only worked when the vibes were good? No, they understood the secret. They understood that discipline don't care about how you feel. Discipline don't care if you're tired. Discipline don't ask for permission. Discipline just demands execution. Some mornings you're gonna wake up and feel powerful. Other mornings you're gonna feel like giving up. That's human, that's real. But your discipline doesn't flinch. When motivation fades, and it will, discipline is what keeps the engine running. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what gets you across the finish line. You keep saying, I'm waiting for the right time. No, you're wasting time. Because there is no perfect time. There is no magical moment when all the stars align and life says, now is your moment. You create the moment. You carve it out with consistency, with commitment, with the kind of drive that doesn't need cheering from the sidelines. Do you think the gym waits for your energy? Do you think the business world cares if you're not in the mood? Life doesn't pause for your emotions. Life doesn't slow down for your feelings. And success is allergic to excuses. Success don't care what kind of day you're having. It only respects discipline. And I get it. Sometimes you're tired. Sometimes you're overwhelmed. Sometimes the dream feels too far away. But that's when discipline has to take over. Because if you wait until you feel like doing the work, you'll never do the work. If you wait until you're excited, you'll never be consistent. But if you commit to the process, commit to doing the reps, writing the plan, putting in the hours, even when you drain, even when it's dark, even when no one sees you, that's when you win. Let me tell you something personal. There were days I didn't feel like speaking, days I didn't want to study, days I was tired, broke, hungry, but I showed up. I kept moving. Why? Because I made a promise to myself. I owed it to me to stay consistent. I owed it to me to keep pushing. My feelings didn't matter more than my future. See, discipline is that voice in your head that says, get up, get moving, do it anyway. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your results. You can have all the ambition in the world, all the dreams, all the vision boards. But if you don't have discipline, you've got nothing but wishful thinking. You got to get to a point where your goals are bigger than your mood, where your purpose is stronger than your pain. You can't let a bad mood cancel a good habit. You can't let tiredness erase the progress you've been building. Because every time you skip the work, every time you choose comfort over commitment, you lose ground, you lose momentum, you lose belief. And the scariest part, you start training your mind to be weak. Every time you choose ease, you're teaching yourself that discipline doesn't matter. But the opposite is also true. Every time you show up, even when it's hard, you train your mind to be a beast. You train your spirit to be unbreakable. That's where confidence comes from. Not from comfort, but from discipline. Everybody's talking. Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. Everybody say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to become that. And just wait. My time is coming. But the truth is, your time ain't coming unless your grind shows up. You keep talking about what you're going to do, but ain't nothing changing because you ain't moving. Words don't build empires. Actions do. Talking won't get you to the next level. Execution will. You think the world is out here hanging out trophies for good intentions? No. The world rewards results. It rewards consistency. It rewards the people who stop flapping their lips and start putting in the work. Stop posting your goals. Stop telling everybody what you're planning to do, because nobody's clapping for plans anymore. We're clapping for performance. We're clapping for people who put their head down and grind when nobody's watching. We're clapping for the ones who stay quiet and let the results speak louder than anything they ever said. See, talking is easy. Anybody can say they're going to win. Anybody can say they're going to hustle. That takes no skill, no courage, no sacrifice. But execution, that takes heart. That takes discipline. That takes waking up when your body says stay in bed. That takes showing up when your mind is screaming quit. That takes walking into the room like you own it, not because you said you would, but because you already put in the hours nobody else saw. You're not going to be successful because you said it. You're not going to blow up just because you wrote it down. That's step one. Yeah, write the vision, make it plain, but don't stop there. Writing the vision is not the work. Living it is. And living it means doing things daily that are uncomfortable, unglamorous, and often unnoticed. You said you were going to start the business. Where is it? You said you were going to hit the gym. Why is your alarm still getting snoozed? You said you were going to change your life. Why are you still waiting for the perfect time? You don't need another quote. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another motivational reel. You need to shut down the distractions and do the work you said you would. Not once, not twice, every day. Because execution ain't a one-time thing. It's a lifestyle. It's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Every time you talk and don't follow through, you weaken your belief in yourself. You teach your mind that your words don't mean anything. You tell your soul we don't follow through. That's dangerous. That's how people stay stuck. Not because they don't have talent, not because they don't have potential, but because they won't execute. Nobody cares about your potential if you never activate it. Nobody cares about your plan if you never push play. The world doesn't move for people who wait, it moves for people who build. Brick by brick, inch by inch, through sweat, through silence, through setbacks. You keep telling yourself you need more time, that you'll get serious next month, that you're just waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right season. But I'm here to tell you the truth. You don't need more time. You've had time. What you need is more commitment. What you need is to stop lying to yourself and start doing what you said you would do. Time ain't your problem. Discipline is. Focus is. Commitment is. You've had 24 hours every single day just like everybody else, and yet every day you waste those hours thinking, planning, wishing, scrolling, talking, and not executing. And when the day ends, you say, I'll try again tomorrow. No, you're not out of time, you're out of excuses. Let's be honest. Some of you ain't doing the work, not because you can't, but because you're still negotiating with your goals. You keep trying to make your dreams fit into your comfort zone. You want the results, but you don't want the sacrifice. You want the spotlight, but you don't want the sweat. You want to be successful, but you're still trying to find shortcuts. There are no shortcuts. There's no cheat code. The only path is commitment. Real, raw, consistent commitment. And that means doing what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient, even when it hurts, even when no one claps for you. That's the price. That's the grind. And until you're willing to pay it fully, you will keep running in circles. Stop saying, I'm too busy. You're not too busy. You just made everything else more important than your own dream. You prioritize distractions. You gave your energy to people and things that don't serve your future. You let comfort become more important than commitment. And now you're frustrated, not because you lack ability, but because you lack alignment. Your life is proof of your priorities. If I looked at your schedule, if I watched your habits, if I tracked your time, what would it tell me? Would it say you're serious about your goals? Would it say you're committed to excellence? Or would it tell me you're living on autopilot, hoping life changes without effort? I know it's hard. I know it's easier to make excuses than to face the truth. But growth never comes from comfort. Growth comes from pressure, from pushing yourself, from looking in the mirror and saying, I'm not giving it my all. But starting now, that changes. You say you want better, but do your actions match your words? You want to build that business, or you studying the game or watching TV? You want to transform your body, or you in the gym or making another excuse? You want peace and purpose, or you seeking discipline or chasing distraction? Listen to me. Excuses will always be available. Results won't. Life doesn't wait for your readiness. Life moves. Time moves. And it doesn't care if you're scared or tired or unmotivated. The only thing life respects is consistency. That's why people with less talent and fewer resources are still winning, because they're committed. They're not smarter. They're not luckier. They're just more consistent or relentless. And don't tell me it's your circumstances. Don't tell me you don't have what others have. That's just another excuse. Some of the most successful people in the world started with nothing, no money, no connections, no advantages. But they had one thing, a decision that nothing was going to stop them. Not the weather, not their past, not people's opinions, not fear. You need to make that decision that no matter what, you're not quitting. That you'll show up every day like your life depends on it, because it does. Your future, your peace, your legacy, it all depends on what you choose to do right now. So stop talking about what you wish you had. Start maximizing what you do have. Use your time like it's gold, because it is. Cut the excuses. Wake up earlier. Lock in harder. Stay up later. Say no to distractions. Surround yourself with people who are about action, not excuses. You owe it to yourself to be more committed than ever before. Not next month, not next week, right now. Every single day, you're faced with a choice, a war between what you want right now and what you want most. And the only thing that determines which side wins is discipline. Not motivation, not talent, not inspiration, discipline. The ability to say no to the easy things so you can say yes to the great thing. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants results. Everybody wants to dream life. But very few people are willing to sacrifice what they want in the moment for what they truly desire long term. That's why most people quit. That's why most people never reach their potential, because they give up what they want most for what they want right now: the sleep, the comfort, the instant gratification. You want to be in shape, but you keep hitting snooze. You want to be successful, but you keep scrolling. You want financial freedom, but you keep spending like you already made it. Let me tell you, that's not discipline. That's delusion. And your dreams will never survive in a house built on comfort. Discipline ain't sexy. It's not flashy. It's not popular. It's not the thing people post on social media. You don't see people bragging about how they woke up at 4:30 a.m. and stayed locked in for 12 hours. You don't see folks going viral for turning down the party to work on their goals. But those moments, those quiet, consistent decisions, that's where greatness is born. It's easy to act motivated when life feels good. It's easy to work hard when people are watching. But who are you when no one sees you? What choices are you making when no one is clapping? That's where discipline kicks in. That's when the difference between average and phenomenal shows up. See, the most dangerous thing about temptation is that It doesn't feel wrong in the moment. Skipping a workout feels like rest. Procrastinating feels like relief. Spending money you don't have feels like fun. But that feeling is lying to you. It's stealing from your future. It's robbing you of what you said you wanted. You think because you don't see the consequences right away that they're not coming. But trust me, they're coming. Every undisciplined choice stacks up. And eventually you look in the mirror and wonder why you're stuck. Why nothing's moving, why the vision's not real. It's not because the dream wasn't possible. It's because your discipline wasn't durable. Success is expensive. It costs time, energy, sacrifice, pain, loneliness, and focus. And the only currency accepted is discipline. You want to know why some people seem unstoppable? It's not because they're better than you. It's because they decided that their purpose was more important than their feelings. And that's what you've got to decide. You've got to wake up every day and choose what you want most. Not what feels good, not what's easy, not what gets applause, but what aligns with the vision you wrote down, with the legacy you said you'd build, with the life you promised yourself. Discipline means showing up when you're tired. It means choosing the salad when you want the burger. It means putting the phone down and picking up the plan. It means saying no to friends, fun, and comfort because you already said yes to your destiny. I'm not saying it's going to be fun. I'm not saying it won't hurt. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. Because the pain of discipline is temporary. But the pain of regret, that lasts forever. That haunts, that whispers in your ear at 2 a.m. asking, what could have been if you just stuck to the grind? Being interested is cute. It's casual. It sounds good in conversation. It looks good on a vision board. But let me tell you, interest will never get you to the finish line. Interest fades. Interest quits. Interest backs down when it gets hard. If you want to be great, if you want to be legendary, if you want to change your life, you can't just be interested. You have to be obsessed. Obsessed people don't need reminders. They don't need motivation. They don't need someone calling to ask if they're still grinding. Obsessed people are self-driven. They live and breathe their vision. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create momentum in the middle of chaos. When you're obsessed, you'll look at the clock. You're not counting the hours. You're making the hours count. And that's the problem with a lot of people. You're interested. You like the idea of winning, but you're not willing to go all in. You're flirting with your dream. You take it out on a date, but you won't marry it. You're interested in success until it starts costing you sleep, until it costs you your social life, until it costs you comfort. And when it does, you back up. You start making excuses. You start saying, maybe this ain't for me. But obsession says, I don't care what it costs, I'm all in. Obsession doesn't care if it's hard, if it's lonely, if it's slow. Obsession says, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is the standard. See, obsessed people, they don't need external validation. They don't need likes or followers or pats on the back. The work itself becomes the reward. The grind is what they crave. They love the pain. They love the process. They love the dark because they know that's where real ones are made. When you're obsessed, failure doesn't scare you, quitting does. Mediocrity does. Looking in the mirror and knowing you gave up on yourself, that's what terrifies you. Because you understand the price. You understand that one bad decision, one lazy day, one weak moment could set you back months. And you're not willing to risk it. You're not playing with your future. You have to stop treating your dream like a side hustle. You have to stop treating your goal like a hobby. This is your life we're talking about. This is your family's future. This is your purpose. And you're acting like you've got all the time in the world. You don't. Time is not on your side. Every second you waste in interested mode is a second you're falling behind someone who's obsessed. I don't care what it is, business, fitness, school, your craft. If you're not obsessed, you will get beat by someone who is, because obsession makes you do what others won't. Obsession makes you show up early and stay late. Obsession makes you study while they party, train while they sleep, work while they relax. Obsession makes you dangerous because you don't stop. You don't take your foot off the gas. You don't accept average. You got to look yourself in the mirror and ask, am I really all in, or am I just saying it? Am I doing what's necessary, or am I doing what's convenient? You don't get to have your dream on your terms. You don't get to live soft and win big. You don't get to coast and rise to the top. You either give it everything or you settle for nothing. People think obsession is unhealthy. They say it's too intense, too much. Good, let them say that. Because the people who change the world, the people who dominate industries, the people who live out greatness, they always call obsessed. That's what they call those who refuse to give up, who refuse to live a small life, who refuse to die full of regret. Be obsessed with the vision. Be obsessed with discipline. Be obsessed with growth. Be obsessed with showing the world that you were built different, that when others backed down, you locked in, that when they took breaks, you took ground, that you didn't just want it, you were consumed by it. So stop being casual. Stop being part-time. Stop dipping your toe in and start diving head first. Because interested people watch, obsessed people win. And if you want it like you say you do, it's time to prove it, not with your words, but with your obsession. Every single day, you're faced with a choice, a war between what you want right now and what you want most. And the only thing that determines which side wins is discipline. Not motivation, not talent, not inspiration, discipline. The ability to say no to the easy things so you can say yes to the great thing. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants results. Everybody wants to dream life. But very few people are willing to sacrifice what they want in the moment for what they truly desire long term. That's why most people quit. That's why most people never reach their potential. Because they give up what they want most for what they want right now, the sleep, the comfort, the instant gratification. You want to be in shape, but you keep hitting snooze. You want to be successful, but you keep scrolling. You want financial freedom, but you keep spending like you already made it. Let me tell you, that's not discipline, that's delusion. And your dreams will never survive in a house built on comfort. Discipline ain't sexy. It's not flashy. It's not popular. It's not the thing people post on social media. You don't see people bragging about how they woke up at 4:30 a.m. and stayed locked in for 12 hours. You don't see folks going viral for turning down the party to work on their goals. But those moments, those quiet, consistent decisions, that's where greatness is born. It's easy to act motivated when life feels good. It's easy to work hard when people are watching. But who are you when no one sees you? What choices are you making when no one is clapping? That's where discipline kicks in. That's when the difference between average and phenomenal shows up. See, the most dangerous thing about temptation is that it doesn't feel wrong in the moment. Skipping a workout feels like rest. Procrastinating feels like relief. Spending money you don't have feels like fun. But that feeling is lying to you. It's stealing from your future. It's robbing you of what you see.